Alrighty, how's it going? So real quick before we get into the video, I just want to let you guys know that I am thinking of having a second stream day. We'll probably make it Thursdays. That way I have an upload in between my Monday story stream and this kind of summary or theory videos. I think that'll make it so that it's a little easier to get content out there and we'll be seeing more. And basically what it means is that Monday we'll have our story streams. I'll take care of life stuff and do a little bit of summarizing and going over footage. Uh, in between that and Thursday we will do our multiplayer uploads. Well, our multiplayer stream. So feel free to stop by. It'll be more of a casual thing, you know. The conversations we have will depend on who comes by the stream and who we have playing the game. Then after Thursday, what the hope is to have this summary video ready to go by Friday. So we have those three videos, I guess, lined up for the week, and hopefully it's something that we can keep a little more consistent. Over the weekend, if I can get extra footage for anything that I feel like is worth uploading to the channel, we'll get that up on the weekend. And I'll try to be as consistent as I can with these uploads and stuff, so all support was very much appreciated. Likes, comments, subscribes, they're all free, and they really go towards getting our channel out there. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So we start the game being told that we can select any chapter, but that our progress will not be saved. So by hitting a new game, we start at chapter 1. And this is the first letter we see. It seems like a lifetime since we worked on cartoons together. 30 years really slips away, doesn't it? If you're back in town, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you. Your best pal, Joey Drew. So that really tells us that if we're coming back now, or whatever time period this is, it's already been at least 30 years. It could be more at this point. And I plan to get into all the theory stuff once we finish the game, since all the chapters are released already. But I'd just like you to keep in mind that if they're talking about working on cartoons together, they must have been their teens to 20s. So if 30 years have passed, they might be in their 30s to their 60s. So they are pretty old dudes. And as we continue, Chapter 1, Moving Pictures. This is the line we hear.
Alright, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
Discover Joey's secret. No, I'm not trying to replay the whole thing, but after exploring a little bit and coming across our desk, we come to the ink machine heart, I guess, I think is what it is. And from there, we are given the objective to start the ink machine. So we get to the ink machine, starty switch, pull the lever shit, and we see that we have to find 6 items to put on pedestals. And after hearing an audio clip, we see that Joey Drew asked all of his members to, I guess, donate something from their workspaces to offer or appease to the gods, which tells you that Joey was up to some sussy shit. First and most fucked up, we came across the wrench, which was stuffed in Boris's chest. There was a Bendy cutout that popped up as soon as we were on our way to collect the wrench, and our guy had the quote saying, "Who put that there?" So that tells us that we are not alone. I mean, shit, something had to do that to Boris, right? Then apart from Boris, at the other workstations, we find a doll. We're checked up on by a Bendy cutout who just pops in and out to scare us, as he do. He's just there to check that our dumbasses are going the right way. We collect a book because you know us, we love our literature. We collect a vinyl from the music room, some death ink from the artist room, and we finally go back to the ink machine heart room to collect that gear. We put all the items on their pedestals and then we go to start the machine. The place gets dark, but some spots stay lit, which tell us where to go, and we end up back at the ink machine heart. Only once we got to the ink machine heart, it was boarded up this time, and upon closer inspection, we are introduced to a monster, I guess you could call him. He's what I assume to be Bendy, but I'm sure we'll find out later in the story who he's supposed to represent. We're told to run, and just as we're about to make it to the exit, we fall down a hole, and it leads us to a demonic ritual looking room. And when we get closer to the circle, we see some visions, one of a wheelchair and the other of what looks like that monster Bendy that chased us into this hole. Then we fall unconscious, and because that part of that chapter of the stream didn't take us that long, we decided to keep it going, and we were shown the title of the next chapter to The Old Song. We wake up from being unconscious to our axe that we had found on the way and end up in an area that looks like where the music is made. We're told the names of the people that worked in the area, and we find a recording by Norman Polk in the projection room going off about how Sammy is going crazy, or he's a weird dude. Then, after hearing that bit about the area, we are introduced to the Ink people, and they don't like us for some reason. As a matter of fact, they sent my ass to the butthole dimension. But something I found cool about the area was that every time it seemed like we got further along in the puzzle, the more of these little bendy cutouts started appearing in the theater room. But they didn't stay there, they were only showing up every time we went up in the booth. And every time we went down, we would actually see them in the booth looking back down at us. But we would keep switching spots because something was trying to show us that those two spots were connected. At one point, we're given the clue that this guy's song is two beats of a drum, a banjo strum, and the strum of a bass violin, I think. It was something like that. So after seeing a bit more of the bendy cutouts, I started figuring we were on the right path. And then I figured I'd listen to the recording again. In the recording by Norman Polk, he goes over how, yes, Sammy was a weirdo, but that he would often leave the projection running. He'd run down like a little demon dude, and he would just disappear. No one would know where he went, but he was definitely still there because that's where he came back out of. And after looking around in the room, we see a metal door which kind of tells us there's some kind of code going on here. So putting two and two together, we got fish and knew, hey, we got to play the instruments in a certain order and get through that door. Which, by the way, I love that the recordings give you answers to puzzles and lore. So they tie it in really well in this game, in my opinion at least. But after we open that metal gate, or door thing, we step through that hall and we find what I guess is Sammy's workshop, which includes a toilet, the valve to drain all the ink that's flooding, and his demonic scriptures. After draining ink to the infirmary, we were able to get the final puzzle pieces we needed to complete what we needed for the area, basically. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go watch the stream. I'm not here to give you detail by detail, I'm here to summarize. Like and subscribe. But the next major event is that we get bonked by that guy, who by the subtitles we can see is actually Sammy Lawrence, but in ink form apparently. And if he was one of the workers who was here around the time I was, 30 years sounds pretty good on his voice, not gonna lie. But basically what he wants to do is sacrifice us to his savior, being Bendy, who happens to be our creation. Which makes us curious about this line that says, wait, You look familiar to me. That face. But anyways, then he goes on talking about how he doesn't want to be in an ink body and leaves us there to die. He starts calling on Bendy, but then we see Bendy does not like the idea of easy prey, and we don't know what happens to him, but according to the subtitles, Sammy did not get what he wanted. Then after fighting off a few ink people, we cut down through a room where then Bendy decides to spawn on us and chase us back down the hallway. And after sending us to the butthole dimension another time or two, we end up in a room where we're introduced to Boris. Boris looking like the guy that we saw with the wrench in his chest. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where the story takes this, but after going to black screen and just mentioning his name, we then come to the title of the next chapter called Chapter 3, Rise and Fall. We'll be picking up the next chapter or two on the next stream, so definitely stop by to check it out because there will be more. As usual, like, comment, and subscribe as it does help the channel and it's free to you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!